What's the secret behind chocolate's dreamy melt and that silky lotion you love? It's cocoa butter, a golden fat squeezed from humble cocoa beans. Turning these tiny seeds into a global superstar takes precision, pressure, and some ancient tricks. So stick around to uncover the step-by-step magic of how cocoa butter gets made. Now, cocoa butter is a luxurious, creamy fat extracted from cocoa beans, a powerhouse in chocolate production, skincare, even pharmaceuticals. Its smooth texture, faint chocolate scent, and perfect melting properties, right around body temperature, give chocolate that melt-in-your-mouth bliss. Beyond sweets, it's packed with antioxidants and healthy fatty acids, making it a go-to for moisturizing lotions, lip balms, and soaps. This stuff is a big deal. The global cocoa butter market hit $5.8 billion in 2022, with over 40% fueling cosmetics thanks to its rich, versatile vibe. Naturally, it carries a subtle cocoa aroma, but it can be deodorized for a neutral profile, opening doors to endless uses. The journey from bean to butter is a meticulous craft, but first, let's take a look at the roots. Cocoa butter's story stretches back over 3,000 years to Mesoamerica, where the Olmec, Maya, and Aztecs revered cocoa beans as sacred. They fermented and roasted beans to make bitter drinks, not chocolate bars. Cocoa butter wasn't separated yet, but its fat enriched their brews. By the 16th century, Spanish conquistadors brought cocoa to Europe, where it evolved into a sweetened delicacy. But it wasn't until 1828 that Dutch chemist Conrad van Houten revolutionized the game with his hydraulic press, isolating cocoa butter from solids to create modern chocolate and cocoa powder. This breakthrough sparked cocoa butter's rise in food and, by the 19th century, cosmetics. Victorians slathered it all over their skin for its luxe hydration. Today, it's a global icon, blending ancient wisdom and industrial ingenuity. Now, let's take a look at how it gets crafted. It all starts with harvesting cocoa pods from cocoa trees, thriving in steamy regions like West Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia. West Africa alone pumps out 70% of the world's cocoa. These pods, about the size and shape of a football, grow straight from the tree's trunk and branches, a quirky trait of the cocoa plant. Farmers harvest them by hand, wielding machetes or long-handled knives to slice the pods free without damaging the trees, which can bear fruit for 20 or 30 years with proper care. Timing is critical. Pods have to be ripe, turning vibrant shades of yellow, orange, or red, depending on the variety. Once cut, the pods get cracked open, often with a swift machete chop, revealing 30 to 50 cocoa beans cocooned in a sticky, sweet white pulp. The pulp isn't just a bonus, it's a fuel for fermentation. The beans and pulp are scooped out and piled into shallow wooden boxes or heaped on the ground, covered with banana leaves to trap heat. Fermentation lasts 5 to 7 days and is the flavor foundation. Natural yeasts in the pulp kick things off, fermenting sugars into alcohol and pushing temperatures to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Now then, bacteria steps in, converting alcohol to acetic acid, which tames the bean's harsh bitterness and teases out that iconic chocolatey aroma. Farmers turn the piles every day or two, ensuring even oxygen flow, a hands-on task that balances science and instinct. By the end, the beans darken to a rich brown, the pulp disintegrates, and they're primed for drying. Now, fresh from fermentation, cocoa beans are drenched, about 60% moisture, and mold's a real threat. Drying slashes that to 7% for safe storage. Traditionally, farmers spread them across raised wooden platforms, mats, or concrete slabs under the scorching sun for 5 to 10 days, depending on the weather. They rake the beans regularly, sometimes hourly, to dry them evenly and prevent clumping. In wetter climates, like parts of Indonesia, artificial dryers with hot air blowers take over, blasting beans at controlled temps to speed things up without scorching them. This process is done when beans rattle like pebbles and sport a deep, uniform brown, a sign that they're stable for shipping to processing plants worldwide. Next up, roasting, where flavor deepens and shells get brittle. Beans are shipped to facilities and loaded into rotating drum roasters, heated to between 250 and 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Temps and times vary. Light roasts, 10 to 20 minutes, preserve fruity floral notes, and a dark roast, up to 45 minutes, unlocks nutty, caramelized richness. Roasting's a triple win, enhancing aroma, dries the shell for easy removal, and kills off bacteria while cutting acidity for a smoother taste. The beans emerge fragrant and crisp, then they cool quickly, often with air blowers, to lock in those complex flavors before cracking. Roasted beans need their shells peeled to free the cocoa nibs, the fatty core where cocoa butter hides. Cracking splits them open, often with rollers or hammers and small setups. Then winnowing separates the nibs from husks. Traditional methods use hands to crush beans and fans, or even wind to blow away lighter shells. Industrial winnowers, though, dominate big production. Vibrating trays and air jets sort nibs from husks with precision. Shells with little fat get repurposed as mulch, animal feed, or even tea. Nibs packing 50 to 55% fat move forward. Any shell bits left behind risk gritty texture or off flavors, so this step's a quality checkpoint. Now, nibs hit massive grinders, steel rollers or stone mills where heat and pressure transform them into cocoa mass, or cocoa liquor. No booze, it's just a liquefied cocoa. Now, friction melts the fat, turning nibs into a thick, dark paste that's 50 to 55% cocoa butter, plus solids. The grind's intensity matters. Coarser mass works for basic pressing, but high-end producers refine it further with extra milling to shrink particle size, hitting smoothness levels below 20 microns for that velvety feel in chocolate or butter. Manufacturers might blend batches here, tweaking flavor consistency before the press stage. Now, cocoa mass faces hydraulic presses cranking over 6,000 pounds per square inch. This brute force squeezes out golden cocoa butter, leaving a dry, compressed cake of cocoa solids. The butter flows through filters to catch stray particles. Then it gets stored, liquid in tanks or solidified in molds. The solids? Well, they're ground into cocoa powder for baking or drinks. Yield hinges on bean quality, press duration, and equipment. Typically, 50 to 55% of the mass becomes butter. Its creamy texture, neutral taste, and stable melting point make it a star in chocolates, cosmetics, and beyond. Raw cocoa butter carries a mild chocolate scent. Great for some, but not all. Refining starts with filtration to remove tiny solids. Then deodorizing kicks in for neutral uses like skincare or white chocolate. Steam and vacuum tech heat the butter to over 392 degrees Fahrenheit, stripping volatile compounds that can cause an odor. This doesn't mess with its fatty acids, it just really boosts shelf life and versatility. Some keep it natural for that cocoa whiff. Most deodorize for a blank slate, perfect for broad applications. Fresh for pressing, cocoa butter has become liquid due to heat. Cooling's controlled. Slow temp drops form the right crystal structure for that silky texture. Too fast and it gets grainy. Too slow and it's soft. This step is crucial for chocolate's glossy snap. Once set, it's molded into blocks, chips, or just kept liquid in tanks. Shipped to makers of chocolate, lotions, and pharma goods. From bean to butter, it's a masterclass in craftsmanship. Cocoa butter is a jack of all trades. In skincare, fatty acids lock in moisture for dry or chapped skin. Antioxidants like vitamin E fight scars, stretch marks, or wrinkles, popular with expecting moms. In chocolate, it's the melt maestro for all types. It hydrates lips and hair in balms and conditioners, and its stability shines in pharma creams and capsules. With 40% hitting cosmetics and a $5.8 billion market, this is a global icon. Crazy how much goes into cocoa butter, right? From sweaty fermentation piles to monster presses, it's a wild ride to your chocolate or lotion stash. I'm obsessed with these how it's made stories. How about you? Tell me your favorite cocoa butter use in the comments. I'd love to hear. And hit like if you dug this, share it with your crew, and subscribe for more process breakdowns. We'll catch you on the next one.